For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
Finally, somebody says, if I'm the minister with responsibility for national security, I will take responsibility for the nation's crime problems. Also coming up this afternoon, we have a NewsSpin poem. And still to come on the broadcast, somebody says, Pierre, meaning the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, I am speaking to you. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. It's also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. And don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell. And that is to help the YouTube channel grow. We go up until 2 o'clock this afternoon. In just a bit, your calls at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. And we are blessed with the presence of Amanda King. So she'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room and provide us with some updates. Our NewsSpin question of the day. Why are both the SLP and the UWP engaged in name-calling? Why are both the SLP and the UWP engaged in name-calling? And you might ask, why ask that question now? It is because it appears to have reached a stage where all the name-calling, all the denigration that is taking place, we have amassed sufficient quantities to offload those at Deglo. So in other words, enough is enough. And this is happening at a time when we have so many critical issues facing the people of St. Lucia. So many challenges. I mean, there was a time when it was so easy for one to contemplate getting a visa and seeking refuge for one reason or the other in the United States. That is no longer a possibility or something that is imminent. Homicide after homicide, people have to grapple with this. At one particular time, I'm sure that many of you watching and listening to this broadcast, you made the assumption that you're not part of it. It's very unlikely that you would be a victim of any serious crime in this country. Very unlikely you'll be shot and injured because you are, or you were at the time, a law-abiding citizen. But now you can be collateral damage. Now you can get caught in the crossfire. Imagine on a Saturday, 2 homicides within the space of a little over an hour on Miku Street and on Jeremy Street. 2 people gunned down and several people injured on a Saturday. Unprecedented. You would hear a few muggings, few people were chopped, people injured, a little vehicle accident here and there in the nation's capital, but not things that would be so grave, that would be so shocking, that would disrupt commerce, that would cause business people to shutter long before it's 1 o'clock or 2 in the afternoon when they normally close their doors. And so I'm saying to the politicians, there are sufficient issues to occupy your attention. Whether you're on a talk show, whether you're on the hustings, during your Sunday Live, or you're on the Castries Market step, or maybe you have a rally in Dennery, Miku, etc. And that's what we've been saying for years on NewsSpin. Stop focusing on yourselves as politicians. It is not about you. At least it ought not to be about you. Because having covered politics for many years, what I understand is this is a profession that ought to be selfless. You ought to be altruistic. You ought to be looking after the interests of the less privileged, disadvantaged people, people who cannot represent themselves. Speak on behalf of those people, but not on your behalf. And that is why we are currently in this predicament. And again, there's just too much at stake. Too much to be lost. The contracts and the money and the prominence and going to the various functions at the official residence of the Governor General, official residence of the Prime Minister, getting an appointment as ambassador. That is getting to you guys' heads and causing you to be reckless and causing you to put yourselves before the people of St. Lucia who are crying out for representation. Those people who are frustrated. They just want certain things to change in the country for their benefit and the benefit of their children. And that is why I can't wait for this election to come and go. And for the people to make the right decision. And I've always said, to the disappointment of the losers, that the people of St. Lucia, they have always made the right choice. You may disagree. They've always made the right choice. When they decide to re-elect the UWP, the right choice. When they decide to boot out the SLP, the right choice. When they decide to bring the SLP back into office, the right choice. Think of the last 4 elections. All the governments have been defeated at the polls. Because the people not in that nonsense. As much as you're going to win 17 seats and you're going to return to office and that one will win. The people will decide and they will make that decision. And believe you me, election will come and go. Do not expect that the flurry of discussions and arguments pertaining to politics in St. Lucia will end. But it will just, it will be reduced. It will be reduced. And I really am looking forward to this, at least 2 or 3 months after the elections, for the temperature, the political temperature, to be lowered. So let's listen to Grandma. And Grandma is basically admonishing a lot of the people in this country who are taking the politics just too much to heart.
L'élection ça ni top Europe top désagrément. Tout le monde goin, tout le monde ka vote côté yo vle. Ou tant ça la madame là. Mais moun pas nous faire cancan gourmet pour la élection. Parce que ça de laisser moun nan prend, ça qui prend ça de la ka manger soupio et même la manger figma choba. L'élection ça ni top Europe top désagrément. Tout le monde goin, tout le monde ka vote côté yo vle. Ou tant ça la madame là. Mais moun pas nous faire cancan gourmet pour la élection. Parce que ça de laisser moun nan prend, ça qui prend ça de la ka manger soupio et même la manger figma choba.
Moi d'accord et pour et moi ka hope ces politiciens, ces operatifs là, ces hacks là, koute yo et yo point les sessions ou ba yo là. Après-midi, jodi mardi. Some people believe that the Prime Minister of this country is beyond reproach, should not be taken to task, should not be criticized. So they take umbrage and they accuse certain talk show hosts of criticizing the Prime Minister on a daily basis. The Prime Minister sets the tone invariably for discussions in this country, for our very way of life. He takes certain decisions that could either have a positive impact on us or that can negatively affect us. And that is why he should not only be held to a high standard, but always be the subject of scrutiny. He campaigned for the job. Some cases he begged for the job. He misled for the job. And if you get it, as is being done in the private sector, you have to account for your stewardship. And we should not allow you free rein for the entire 5 years and then maybe a few days before the elections start to criticize your performance and scrutinize your performance. So on this broadcast, we will be absolutely respectful. And NewsSpin is noted for that because we take you, our audience, seriously. And we care about this brand. We cherish it. So we will not just criticize the Prime Minister for criticizing's sake. We will play the clips, we will analyze, we will scrutinize, and then we will hear from you. So just recently that news outlet, St. Lucia Daily Post, attributed some information to a source. And the information is, they see the news and evidence pertaining to the homicide of Kimberly De Leon. And people are suggesting that those would have been either destroyed or damaged during the demolition of custody suites in 2020. No, that's not true because the noose and the other evidence was found in the south of the island, all the way. From north, that's where we expected it to be, no. Or that's where it was suggested it was, no. All the way in the south. And to date, we have not heard from the officer in charge, Ronald Phillip, We have not heard from Mr. De Freitas. We have not heard from any of our senior police officers. This is true. It's not true. We can confirm that this is the case. What do you attribute that kind of behavior to? You have no respect for the people of St. Lucia. They're not taking you seriously. Or maybe it's a case of that's not your business. Or we will bide our time, and at the appropriate period, we will inform the nation. We either confirm or deny. But I suspect that the reluctance or the failure of anyone in St. Lucia to come forward and deny that story is because it is true. So if you have a national security minister who happens also to be the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, you have a press briefing, and as a journalist, you pose that question to the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, can you confirm that story? You're expecting the Prime Minister to have been briefed? Because you're not asking him whether a particular case should involve somebody being charged, hauled before the courts, automatically found guilty and sentenced to prison for 10, 15, 20 years. That's what you're asking as the executive. You're not asking him to interfere to that extent. But you want to verify. Because very often as a journalist and a reporter, you're told, one, you're not doing sufficient research, and two, you could have called the office of the police commissioner or the office of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. There's a PR department there. Did you call? No, you didn't call. There's the office of the Prime Minister. Did you call to verify? There is the National Security Minister. You have endless PR people in the office of the Prime Minister. Did you call those people? So he posed that question to the Prime Minister. His response, very long, tedious. But I beg you to bear some patience. Listen and watch.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister.
Good morning.
The St. Lucia Daily Post recently put out an article quoting a police source as saying that the evidence in the cases of Shaka and Daniel.
Have you checked the police source?
That's what I'm asking. Have you inquired to see if this is accurate?
I've not spoken to the Commissioner of Police on that matter, but you must recall, I've made that point several times. There is a separation of powers. There is the executive, there is the judiciary, and there is the parliament. Three separate powers. Any issues as it relates to these kinds of things, the Director of Public Prosecutions is the one who's normally contacted. I've not been officially briefed on that, but as you, I've heard it, but I've not been officially briefed by the Commissioner of Police. But I guess in that instance, the Director of Public Prosecutions may get involved. But I want to make it clear, that we still have a separation of powers in this country. Anytime the political directorate gets involved in prosecution, you have chaos. Prosecution must be left to the Director of Public Prosecutions and the system that follows. It's a dangerous trend. It's a dangerous trend for politicians to get involved in the judicial process. Even though we may not agree, it's dangerous. The judicial process must be kept independent. I want to urge you and urge St. Lucians, do not be fooled by anybody who wants to make you understand that the government can interfere in the judicial country, even though we may not agree. But the judicial process must be allowed to function according to the Constitution and the laws of St. Lucia. The separation of powers must be clear. Anytime there is no separation of powers, you have chaos. Anytime the due process, we may not like the due process, we may think it takes too much time. Our job is to make available the resources for the judicial process to take place. That is why we are bringing the House of Justice. That's why we're doing that. That's why we have a swift justice program. That's why we're doing that. But we cannot and we should not interfere in the judicial process. We are leading to chaos. And I just want to tell the public of St. Lucia, that is dangerous. When politicians get involved in the judicial process, it is dangerous. That is why, to make justice more accessible, St. Lucia went into the Caribbean Court of Justice for justice to be more accessible to regular people. The opposition criticized it. I just want you to be clear. And so, Miss, I just want to tell you to be clear, I am very careful. In spite of all the useless criticism that I get, I am very careful in not interfering in your judicial process. It's bad. It is dangerous. What we do is we make laws. But in terms of the process of justice, we have to stay out of that. Politicians should stay out of that. Like telling people who to charge and not to charge, we should not get involved in. Once you get involved in that, you are looking for chaos. As I said, we may not agree. A lot of things that we don't agree with. But the judicial process, the separation of powers must be kept distinct and clear to avoid chaos in a society. For you young people to have a society where you have fairness. Because politicians, you must understand politicians, some of them. And if you hear some of the things that have been said on political platforms now, you wonder what St. Lucia we're living in. You'll be surprised. Where are we? Is that St. Lucia we're in? Where are we? That's what they say. Now, if these things were ever true, so the chaos would be in St. Lucia. So I just want to tell you that I'm sorry if you think I didn't answer the question, but I want to tell you, I want to keep that sacred. Sacred. Not for me, but for the future. Politicians get involved in judicial processes. Particularly when you have vindictive and revengeful politicians. Particularly when you have people who want to take revenge and who are vindictive. You have to keep them, the judicial process must keep them in check. And whilst I'm Prime Minister, my job is to ensure that the facilities needed for the judicial process continue. But interference, I will not interfere. And anybody who believes that they can get short-term political gain by interference, I want to tell them that was how dictatorships are born. Dictatorships are born when there is not a judicial process. So without a judicial process, you have revenge, you have vindictiveness, you have threats. When there is not a right now, the public feels comfortable, or the public should feel comfortable, that they have a problem. They go to the courts, and the courts will deliberate. And there are layers of appeal. The local appeal, the Court of Appeal, and now we have made the Caribbean Court of Justice accessible. And again, that is a serious historical advancement we have made in the region. No wonder the opposition uses it like that. They're the first ones to use it. Because you want to believe if these cases had to go to the Privy Council, they would have been heard next 3 or 4 years. Now they're being heard almost instantly. Because the same court that the opposition opposed vehemently, demonstrations and accusations, they are the ones who are using it now. That is the importance of having a judicial process. I'm sorry I labored on that point, but I wanted to make it clear to you that do not falter me when I stay away from the judicial process. It's for you, for me, for the future of this country.
Prime Minister of St. Lucia. Why all that talk? What brought this about? Simple question. Young reporter, ask you a simple question. innocent question. And you're making a hash of this. Mr. Prime Minister, nice tone, you know. Nice, humble tone. Respectful tone. It was reported that the news went missing, evidence went missing, etc. Can you confirm the Prime Minister went all around the world and he never answered the question? And he said, be very careful, don't you say we should be charged, we shouldn't be charged. That was not the question, Mr. Prime Minister. And I hope that this clip in the response of the Prime Minister was instructive. Not to you SLP hacks, not to you United Workers' Party hacks, but those of you who have no interest in politics and once in a while you listen and watch NewsSpin, etc. Those of you in the middle of the road, those of you who care about the country and not about Philip J. Pierre and Alan Chasney. Not concerned about hacks. You listen to the question and then you listen to the response. Prime Minister said that he was not officially briefed on such an important matter. One day evidence missing, the next is reported in the press that it was found over in V4. That's important. And the Prime Minister should have been briefed, even if he was not interested and even if he did not make a call to the authorities. The authorities ought to have called him, briefed him. If the authorities did not brief him, as the Prime Minister of the country is curious, very curious individual. What is this I'm hearing? What is the true nature of this story? What's happening? Is it true? Is it not true? Mr. Prime Minister, it is true. It was found in a box, in VA4, etc. When was it found? Ask some questions and you're well briefed. Because you ought to expect that that question have been posed to you during that briefing yesterday. So you don't know, and therefore you cannot communicate to the people of this country about something that is of importance to them. So we just, as a country, we are in the dark. We don't know. I remember what was said recently by the Castries Central MP regarding that same evidence. Let's listen and watch.
Mr. Speaker, a few days, a few weeks running into the elections, I am instructed that police officers were at work when windows began dismantling, air conditions were taken, wires were pulled off, and it was only then they got a call from the commissioner that you vacate immediately. And so, Mr. Speaker, they were all going like mad fowls because there were prisoners in custody. The first thing was to secure the prisoners. And I could tell you, the exhibit room was in that building, Mr. Speaker. So when they talk about evidence disappearing, Mr. Speaker, ask the leader of the opposition, ask the then commissioner, where were those exhibits kept? And it's because of their recklessness. It's because of their haste. It's because they wanted to show John public that something is being done. That in the way, whatever stood in the way of the excavators that unfaithful morning had to go except human beings.
So you heard there from the Castries Central MP on this matter, and this is before the revelation that the evidence had been found in the south of the island. Before we take your calls, a message to our leaders in St. Lucia. And it's coming from Leila Ali Othman. Leila Ali Othman, to the leaders of St. Lucia.
This is to every leader, whether you lead a country, a community, or a congregation. Know this: power is not protection on the day of judgment. Your convoy will not follow you to the grave. Your titles will not defend your soul. When people cry under your watch, you owe answers before your Lord. Every tear you ignore, every lie you defended, every hardship you inflicted, it is going to be written Lead with justice. Speak the truth. Never fear people. Fear the day where only your deeds can speak for you. And I assure you that day is coming.
And now your calls at 452-297, 452-2979. And of course, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. Let me see if I have a WhatsApp message to go through. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, every time this Prime Minister speaks, it's non-truths. Is that why he accompanied Dr. Hilaire in court? And as usual, he blames the opposition. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, it says there, I've never seen a Prime Minister in power being so obsessed with the opposition leader. It sounds like the Prime Minister is the one in opposition, according to him. Okay, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Hi, Tim. Is the Prime Minister really the Prime Minister? For whenever a question is asked, he never answers and talks about the opposition and something else. Lord, help us. All right, some more of your messages. Somebody says there, the Prime Minister just got a crash course and decided to summarize it. He has not answered the question. I think that his response is directed at somebody's involvement in the police force. High-class nonsense. And some more of your messages. Comment there. And the person says, the Prime Minister seems to forget how he and the Deputy Prime Minister went to the courts regarding the Rovergate scandal to make sure justice was done. On the hypocrisy, intervene only when it affects him or the comrades. Yes, we must understand politicians. The two above are self-serving. Let's take a call via the landline. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Timothy, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
And your guest, Amanda. It's a while I don't call your program, but I listened to the Prime Minister team, and it's when he was asking the question. But Tim, you know, I don't know whether some of us have short memory. It was the same Prime, and he continues said he doesn't get involved. Politicians must not get involved with the justice system, with the courts and all this. It wasn't that same Prime Minister after the election who went to court to see that justice was served? Wasn't that same Prime Minister who expunged cases of person that was arrested by the police during COVID? What is this? Why we are so confusing? What is going on in St. Lucia, Tim? What is happening? The Prime Minister gave the young lady a barrage of lessons, you know, and even did not even answer the question, but focusing on as a politician should not get involved in this and they should not get involved in that and they should. But even up to today, even as we speak, the politician, especially on this side, are strongly involved in the justice system of this country, in the judiciary. And make no bones about it, that is true. Everything that were to happen within the court, the politicians are getting involved. They know everything that is. When it's convenient on this side, they try to say other things. Now, there was a report where the evidence was in the south of the island. He did not say whether it was in the police station in Beaufort or the police station in Mikud. Am I correct?
It was in the position of the police in Vieux-Fort.
Oh, in Vieux-Fort, sorry. Okay. Now, and then listen to a minister of government. I'm telling you, he have evidence where when that building was demolished in Custody Suite, they tried to move wires and this and blah, blah, blah. I mean, Tim, when we are grown-ups and we make mistakes, is that a case that we can say, yes, we make a mistake and we're sorry and let's move on? He said categorically that is the case. And if that evidence is found in the south of the island in Beaufort, what are the ministers saying to the media? Simple. What are they mean? Not because you used to be from where you were. You hate that party so bad. And because you believe you can say anything, Tim. Anything. I mean, Tim, I said last time, my young little daughter asked me, Daddy, I like politics. And I'm thinking of, in time to come. And from Mikot South, if I want to go to politics in my constituency, Mikot South. And you know what I tell her? If there was a time that people with good characters would have go to politics, right now that's not the case. Because politics right now is all about lies, deceit, and name it, and try to see whether they can find a way out of the problem and mess that they create. And I tell them, babes, you cannot go into that. You cannot go into politics. Think of something else. Because when you're looking at person they call an honorable, these people are not honorable. They are not honorable. That's what the Bible look at person who says, who have been, he said, these people are a lesson to be learned. Respect, dignity, and pride. Not to come there and lie, and because you like a party so much, you would put your neck on the block for a party. And listen to your preamble, Tim, when you talk about yesterday, when a particular former minister of UWP was in the previous UWP government, ended up and classified the late Sir John, may his soul rest in peace, with the current prime minister that we have. And I'm saying, oh my God, why you know that is not the case. You were prime minister before.
But how can you tell him he knows that's not the case when that is his opinion, Colin?
Tim, I agree. That is his opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But Tim, let's be fair.
He has seen the light.
Hmm?
He has seen the light.
Yes, Mr. Poleon, I agree. But let's for 1 second. You know very well, the man cannot fit, his shoe cannot fit in Sir John's shoes. You know that without any doubt. You were there as Prime Minister, they criticize you, they treating you bad. You knew, they say you could only be a Boy Scout. Nobody want to call you Prime Minister. Now then, you have the worst of all Prime Minister, and you want to classify the man with Sir John, the late Sir John. Sir John was a godsend, Sir John was on Papi Show. And you want to use the name of not even Kenny Anthony, he can reach in his feet, Fowler Sir John, just because you have a ministerial position, your salary big, you can do what you want every month, you're getting paid. That is so nice for you. So whether the man have the title or not, you forcing yourself to give him a title that he don't have, and you know he don't have the title, and then you want me to call you an honorable person. That's a lie. That's not honorable. So I cannot call no person in government an honorable. Nobody is honorable. The only person I will call honorable was God the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. No politician, particularly once they get involved in where they are, like the mom lady that said they say Salayo, all of them drawing their money, and then we now making ourselves a problem for them, vex with one another, criticize Timothy, curse journalists just for what? Because they're giving us a little job to unblock a drain, a manhole, cut some debushing on the road, and we treat him as a boss. Come on, man, Brother Poleon. And I respect people's opinion, but when people can come with this type of thing, saying this, I have no respect for you. Because don't tell me you don't know. The man doesn't have the capability, and the man just cannot run the country. You know that very well. So if you can do something better, even if you claim you're independent, try to share some ideas with him, because you know very well. I listen to the man there, the man take almost half an hour and try to respond to the young lady, and he was all over the place like a madman.
Okay, Colin, thank you so much for your contribution. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, I beg to ask the question, who is the Prime Minister? Is it Richard Frederick or Philip J. Pierre? Because it seems to me Richard Frederick seems to know more of the affairs of the country than Philip J. Pierre himself. Richard can relate and answer to all the ministries, but Pierre cannot answer one simple question. Shame on that so-called Prime Minister. Let's see if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages. Somebody says there via WhatsApp. Does the Prime Minister have the power to appoint an officer in charge of the police? The Prime Minister mentioned the separation of powers. How does he feel or will react to one of his ministers giving instruction to the police and being in possession of police files? Does he have any intention to discipline that particular minister? I think we have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, you're on the air. Hello.
Good day, Tim.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon. I'm still waiting for that embargo to be taken off my back.
Yes, sir.
Tim, again, I didn't want to be repetitious, but I seriously think Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister, has some mental issues, you know. Tim, the gentleman is forgetting who expunged the cases against the criminals, the people who...
But be careful, I don't say the Prime Minister has some mental issues. Maybe he's forgetful, caller.
But Tim, when you do something once, I understand. But when you're constantly doing the same thing over and over again, something is wrong somewhere, Tim. Maybe it's not mental. Maybe it's deliberate. You understand? Maybe it's deliberate. And I don't think somebody would be doing something like that so deliberate. So are we, the public, are we so daft that we cannot remember anything? That the gentleman will come on the air and spew all those things, and for him to actually believe that we forgot those things, Tim? I was a warden. You see all the drama that was taking place with the wardens all over the place. I did not support all of it because I was not behaving in some of those ways. I believe in talking to people, Tim, trying to convince people why they should do what they're supposed to do. And I can tell you, there was a time where I was working, by the time the police vehicle pulled up, all you got was bottles and stones. Next day, you pick up two of those guys. You telling me a Prime Minister came in and expunged the cases against those guys? What exactly you thought you were doing when you did that? And like the previous caller said, he went to the court to see that justice. How can you now say that was just less than 4 years ago, Tim? How can you say that you're not interfering now? I mean, I am no scholar. I am I don't hold a degree or anything like that. Tim, I believe I can give a better press conference than that. I believe any layman outside there can give a better press conference than that. It's simple, Tim. If you do not have the answer for something, just let the people know that you do not have the answer for the thing. What nonsense is that? You're making me feel ashamed today that this is what I have representing me as a Prime Minister. Really? And I am telling you, I am putting certain things on my status, and some of my educated friends, Tim, people whom I are supposed to be looking up to, is making me believe that this is the best thing ever since sliced bread. This is the best Prime Minister we've ever had. Simply because right now, I don't know where monies come from, but they're getting money to implement all kind of little things. But Tim, one thing I want to let St. Lucians know before I go, you need to be smart and open your eyes. The things that this Prime Minister is giving right now, all the things they're doing right now, Tim, of course, yes, it's good. Of course, yes, giving people something when they need it is good. But Tim, how is it improving my life? Is it taking me from point A to point B? Tim, you come today, you give me $500. But my bills was already in arrest, Tim. You know that $500 won't cover my bills. And it still means after you give me that $500, I'm still at square one.
But don't forget, caller, the Prime Minister, it appears, is under pressure now to introduce an environmental tax. And I played that clip last week on this program. And his response when he was asked that question was, not now, not now, not now. He came across as being as if he was aggravated that he did not want to answer that particular question. So who knows?
Because he
who
wants
knows,
to call
caller?
politics. He wants to call.
Who knows what is on the horizon?
Yeah. He wants to call the election before he implements it, Tim. Because when you go about implementing all of these little things all of these low-hanging fruits, as one of your callers before election used to say, I remember that caller. He was asking for the Prime Minister to implement low-hanging fruits. And these are what low-hanging fruits does to a country. It puts a country in debt. Because while it's good that you can pick a low-hanging fruit, Tim, but the question goes back to the same question. How does it improve your life today? Because all of these things that he implemented there, he has to get funding from somewhere. And eventually the tax will come. Because who will have to pay for it? We that will have to pay for it. Now, if he had continued, if a lot of, especially the airport and those things, continue allowing investors or the country itself to invest in infrastructure, in creating jobs, Tim, he would not have to do those things. Because one of the things I used to some young people before I go, Tim, was Ojos and ITEL. Ojos and ITEL, in 2 months, would have paid a young person more than what the youth economy is paying you today. So you know what it means? It meant that, Tim, you did not need to give any young person a youth economy. Just give them a job at Ojos. And by the time they have a year at Ojos or ITEL, they would have been in a position to create their own business and do all of that and much more. They would have had more, save much more than the youth economy is giving them today. But youth economy is something that is dependent upon government. And where does government get their funding? From the people. So you created that thing. Yes, you're giving people $5,000, but you have to take it back from me somewhere else. But if you create the jobs, Tim, you create the jobs for the people, you would not have to go in the public purse to fund anything like that, because you would have had those jobs that would cover for all of those little agencies that you're creating right now. Si mwen ki pa men male l'école sa ka chile about sa. Bouk la ki di se ekonomist sa pa sa ka chile about sa. Tim, kon di go moun nye bay ka di se moun sa bay chien tetek pou la cheyden. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Merci beaucoup. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, NewsSpin. For a limited time or limited period this month only, La Clinique de Corps is offering a $50 discount on all doctor consultations. Take advantage of this special offer while it lasts. Still to come, somebody says, Prime Minister Pierre, I'm talking to you.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Hey Lucelec, Sherry here. I've been hearing all about my account and its features. Can you really do all that?
Absolutely, Sherry. I'm Taisha, by the way. My account is your all-in-one power hub. You can check your bill. It's even emailed to you every month. Need a copy? You can download a PDF version anytime. You can manage multiple accounts and paying is a breeze. Use your card or opt for online bank payments. Thank you. Whatever suits you best. Keeping tabs on your energy use? You got it. Track your consumption, download payment records, and see how you stack up against previous months and others nearby.
Thanks for breaking it down A1, Taisha.
You got it, Sherry. My account puts the power in your hands. Remember, it's your energy, your way.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Flo's prepaid customers can now unlock big bonus rewards like bonus data, prizes, and more every time you activate a 3-day prepaid plan or larger. Activate a plan, then scratch to reveal your bonus data. Plus, get points for extra prizes. The more you activate, the more bonus data and prizes you can win. Get in on the big bonus rewards when you activate a prepaid plan. Dial *129# or visit topupflow.com to activate a plan today.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
At First National Bank, we believe being first means putting you first. Your first home, we've got the mortgage. Starting your first business, count on our commercial loans. Dreaming of your first car? Drive it home today. Heading to college? Let's fund that first big step with a student loan. No matter the milestone, make First National Bank your first choice for all your loan needs. First in service, first in trust, first for you. Call us at 455-7000 or visit your nearest First National Bank branch today so we can help put you first. First National Bank, here for you.
That's gone for 6. The Republic Bank CPL is here and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every 6, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
For the interest of this nation, the countdown is on as we get set for August 30th. Friends of New York presents the Forkery Man Labor Day Party with friends, including the Forkery Man Kakal alongside Gozele and Natty Conqueror with MC Mr. Right. Other guest performances include Caribbean, DJ Speedometer, DJ Bashi, and more. It's a Labor Day party happening at 1035 Hedgemon Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Admission is only $20. And of course, eats and drinks 758 style. For ticket info, call 347-432-7807 or 347-457-7265. It's the Forkery Man and Friends Labor Day party this Saturday, August 30th from 5 p.m. This event is supported by Friends of New York. We're representing 758.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We are on the Power 97.9 FM as well as the NewsSpin Facebook page and the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Somebody says, Philip J. Pierre, I am talking to you. Let's listen to this individual right now.
Philip, I'm speaking to you now. And I am telling you, Pierre, you should have called that election April 2025. Right now, it's too late. Whenever you call it, we will win. Yeah, you are confused. Your hands are tied. Your legs are tied. Your whole body is tied. You cannot call the election. You cannot call it, but you will have to. And every morning and every day, you wake up, you and your people just talk shit on the radio. Every time you open your mouth, is nonsense you're saying to the world, not just to St. Lucia, to the world. Because every time you open your mouth, it's on the internet. You are not a policeman, your father was a policeman. The country has crime. Pierre, I am still talking to you directly. You don't solve crime with new motor car and new machine and bullet vests. You don't. And may I advise you, to assist in crime, you need intelligence. You need public trust in the police. You need proper canvassing of the neighborhoods when a crime happens. These things don't cost money. You need, of course, you can't wake up Tyson, but you need about 4 more Tysons the way things are going on here. And one of the key reasons why I can say that, Pierre, I'm still talking to you, that you are going to lose this election. Pierre, I am talking to you. You have too many seats that are in trouble.
I say that to you, sir. The government is supposed to put policies in place for the police. So they see that, okay, the crime stats, it's an easy science. It's an easy science. The crime stats will tell you in what direction to take. Right? You see there is an escalation in murders, you have to ask yourself, why are the murders happening? Where are the murders happening? Which age range that is more likely to commit these crimes, these murders? Why is that age range? A lot of questions will be asked. Yes, it is the police job to execute whatever policies that comes from central government, but the government is ultimately responsible for crime and the level of crime in any country. And if and when I become National Security Minister, I will accept all responsibility for what's happening in the country. I will put certain measures in place to make sure that it does not happen. And one of the things I want to say to you, caller, I heard also certain persons from people not talking about me saying, well, as a police officer, I arrested them. And they may not vote me. I'll say that to you, sir. Given the same circumstances, and I'm a police officer and see crime happening in my presence, I'll arrest these very same people again. And you know why I will do that? I stand for justice.
My apologies there. It ended abruptly. We have some audio problems, I suspect. But I just heard there from Mr. Calix Kakal Xavier, and before him, you heard from Mr. Angus Shabatiste. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages, but let me turn over to Amanda and find out what is happening in the chat room.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. Tim, a few comments from earlier. NewsSpinner says there, has the RSLPF said anything about the newfound evidence? A commentary reads, Tim, anything you do, we can do it better. Gone are the days when staying nice is mistaken for being cowards. A NewsSpinner says, I don't agree with name calling. We need to stand against it. It has been going on for a while now, but nothing. Now the other side is doing it. We all come and say, stop. We were supposed to talk about it a long time ago. Stop the hypocrisy. Another commentary reads, I do not agree with the name calling, but how many times can you allow someone to spit in your eye and call it rain? There are times when they go low, you have to go lower. It's the nature of humanity and politics. Someone says, our team not with PJP and RF, it will end. Did it end after the last general elections? A commentary reads, things can never go back to how it was. The country lost so many people, and all this backbiting that is going on, how can one forget that? A NewsSpinner says her team name calling may appear to be offensive, disrespectful, only when it represents something bad, lol. A commentary reads, lackadaisical attitude by the RSLPF, which now has become a norm at the department. A commentary reads, wasn't he the same guy who turned up at the court to ensure that justice was served? Someone says here, the man do not even know what he's talking about. What a joker. Lucians, shame on y'all for having this as your prime minister. A commentary reads, never officially informed or briefed. Shake my head. A commentary says, that's a long-winded response, a simple question. A commentary says the credibility of the RSLPF is questionable. Who is lying? What does the DPP have to say about the last revelation? A commentary says separations of powers only in theory. We know better, sir, as was evident when you went to court to support your fellow minister, and in your words, I went to ensure that justice was served. A commentary says who's vindictive and revengeful? They are all in your governments. A NewsSpinner says, Philip, you must be a fool. They're using it because the Privy Council is no longer accessible to us. You changed our last court of appeal to the CCJ. A commentary says the same infrastructure SLPs opposed, they are now selling it for their personal gain. A commentary says, Heatherman vents, UWP keep the pressure on, PJP is crushing. Commentary says, wasn't it your deputy that said he's in power? Said that now he's in power, he's going after everybody that came after him. You're talking about people wanting revenge. Shake my head. A commentary says, it is beyond my level of comprehension how Philip JP is celebrated by his supporters as a good leader when he walks into a room. Each to his own, I guess. Commentary says, isn't Richard Frederick interfering with the judiciary when he gets files big so from certain police officers? Commentary reads, when government policies cannot be as a stimulus to the private sector businesses, the handouts will be used as a political tool for power. A few comments from YouTube. Someone says here, we have gotten comfortable living in lies for so long that truth has been diminished and people would rather go about with their lives and ignore the facts or the truths. Truths make people uncomfortable. Another commentary from YouTube, it reads, Prime Minister, why did the Commissioner hurry on vacation without having discussions with you, knowing these questions will arise? Another comment here reads, the Prime Minister does not know the separation of platforms. He is always on the market steps. Another comment from YouTube reads, failure after failure. What are the plans for the nation's progress and advancement for all sectors, infrastructure, industry, and human resource development? A commentary reads, I'm curious about the grants given to entrepreneurs. Where is the money coming from? And if it was borrowed, how will it be paid back? And another commentary from YouTube, it says, the Prime Minister was never ready for the position he is holding. Instead of creating the atmosphere to grow, be fruitful and multiply, he is casting doubts in creative people of St. Lucia. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Amanda. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages once again at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. And let me see if I have any of your messages to go through at this point in time. Let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good day, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, Tim. I think somebody should teach the Prime Minister the meaning of separation of powers. Obviously, he does not know. Tim, there are so many examples, so many violations. When your Attorney General meets with the prosecutors if in a matter against one of your ministers, the day before the court, and certain decisions are reached in his office, and then the following morning you're paying court to see that justice is done, you calling that separation of powers? Huh? When you expunge matters that the police have lodged in court already, with a date pending for the hearing of the matters, you go and interfere in it. You calling that separation of powers? Now I don't want lawyers like Thaddeus to help the Prime Minister because clearly Thaddeus Antoine cannot help him. Because he himself doesn't seem to understand basic things, especially about duty-free purchases and things. He clearly doesn't know that.
Caller, tread cautiously, when you're calling the names of those attorneys, because your guy called the names of the attorneys and the politicians, and believe you me, as soon as we conclude NewsSpin, those same attorneys and politicians are calling me. You understand? Are calling me, and I have to defend myself. So be careful, caller. Please do not call those people's names. Now, they don't call me that often. We don't speak. But every time the names come up on this, the most monitored talk show in the world, I get a call later. I'm listening. And I care about my reputation. And that's the only thing I have. So be very, very, very careful, caller. All right?
But they must learn something, Tim. Stop talk. They must learn to speak the truth when they're talking on legal matters. Stop hoodwinking the people. But you can give them my number when they call you, especially the last one I called.
No, I don't want to be in that position. I just don't want those politicians and those lawyers to call my phone. All right? I don't want that.
But Tim, we have to agree. Let me go back, give you one more example. The leader of the opposition took some time off to check on his father's medical situation. The Speaker of the House was so bold to say publicly, and those are not secrets, those are public statements. That's why I can say them, but for your sake, I will not call names. That he will stop the leader of the opposition's salary, as though he's the one paying the leader of the opposition. So I wanted to ask him then, who's paying him? Is he paying himself? Because if you can stop somebody's salary and you're not paying yourself, then you're just fooling everybody. The leader of the opposition takes them to court. He wins them. They come back to the house and giving their own verdict on the court decision. A whole lot of rigmarole when they were clearly wrong. What happened to the judge? He's transferred. All the other matters, including the detention of the leader of the opposition, has never called. It has not been set for trial because everything is pushed in a waiting pile. That's separation of powers, Philippe Pierre. Obviously, Philippe Pierre knows nothing about separation of powers like many other things. So he needs somebody of good reputation to explain to him what those terms mean, because he clearly cannot answer anything about it. All right? So I don't want to hear Philippe Pierre dancing around a question and trying to answer. Philippe Pierre, everybody know you don't know. Just say you don't know. And leave it for your Attorney General, who's supposed to know. My God. So, Tim, I listened to the Prime Minister talking about the exhibit and so on. I want to hear now which one of them, whether it's the Commissioner, whether it's Richard Frederick, whether it's the Prime Minister, which one of them will take the first shot at explaining what happened last week. I can take my pick. They will leave it for the Commissioner. The real Commissioner, not the one that's acting in charge, the real one. They will leave it till Mr. God comes back in September for him to attempt to give an explanation for what he already said that was wrong. And then you might hear the Prime Minister last come and say that he never said anything about the exhibit. Or Richard Frederick. Both of them will come and say they never said what they said before. So you see how much lies can burn you? So I turn the mic over to Philippi and Richard Frederick. Since Mr. Gad is listening and he's probably trying to figure out what kind of response he will give. Mr. Gad, I'm waiting patiently for your explanation when you come back in September. So make sure you come good. Make sure you come good with your explanation. Thank you very much, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Another call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air.
Yeah, good, Mr. Poleon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, I have been hearing certain, some statements been made about the missing evidence. I've heard it several times on your show, and I've heard it today again. We were told officially that the evidences went missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were told. That they went missing, and this was official. And I think we were told, I do not want to make statement I cannot substantiate, that the case could not have gone forward because those evidence were missing. That was later confirmed by a government minister who been in the know and said who caused the destruction of the evidence or the missing evidences, and he said to ask those persons. So these are two official statements. The government minister operates from the office of the Prime Minister, who obviously appears to be a mouthpiece of the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister does not object to anything he says. So these are two official statements. We got a third statement by a hearsay, EOD, and we are reporting that as news that the evidence are in due forth. How do we know evidence is in due forth? We don't know that because we got two official statements.
So therefore, you're going on the word of the two officials.
Police commissioner,
Yeah.
and the other person, I don't want to say the name, and the third person who gave the news saying that it is somewhere in due forth. We call that a lie. Not even the Prime Minister can confirm that. And if the Prime Minister does not know that, who are we to now report in the news that the evidence is in due forth? That is incorrect information.
Caller.
Because the Prime Minister does not know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
The Prime Minister said he has not received an official briefing on this. So, the question I would have asked the Prime Minister, have you received any information unofficially? Right? I think that would have been the logical question, a follow-up to ask the Prime Minister. Have you received any information unofficially? And more than that...
Would he allow them to ask this follow-up question?
No, I'm just saying... No. I'm just saying that's a logical question to ask the Prime Minister. If he does not want to answer, he does not want to answer. But that's... If he says, I have not been briefed officially, what would you ask him? Have you been briefed unofficially? I don't know if you get my point.
Yes, I got your point, sir.
Because the most important question is the follow-up question, not the initial question. The other issue you must take into consideration. The other point you must take into consideration. This is the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And this is a news outlet that is saying that the evidence has been discovered in a box somewhere at a police station, let's say over in Vieux Fort. Right? This has been communicated to the world. A week now has elapsed. No, hold on. A week has elapsed. One entire week. Are you saying you do not have a press relations department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force to issue a statement to say this is true or this is not true? Isn't the onus on them to address this? Isn't the onus or the responsibility on the officer in charge to address this? Isn't the onus on the Deputy Police Commissioner? Isn't the onus on the ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police, to address that issue? What say you?
Yes, sir. I agree with you, sir. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, given the fact that we have got official statement, we get unofficial statements, and we asking to be that unofficial statement to be verified.
You're still not getting the point? But
yeah, I got the point.
No. You want to go around the issue, but I'm being very logical on that particular issue. We want to get to the truth on the matter. There are people we have appointed and people we have elected to address that issue. Aren't you interested in finding the truth? Who is supposed to clarify this issue? I'm asking you. Who is
Well,
supposed to clarify? Who?
Well, the head in command.
You
And
have
the Prime Minister should be able to answer this
the
question.
Prime Minister should be able to answer that question. The leadership of the police force by now should have answered that question. So you would not have been in doubt this afternoon. That's what I'm saying to you.
Yes, sir. Well, I kind of agree with you on this. But there's another point I want to highlight. The manner in which the Prime Minister treats those young journalists, you can actually see has instilled fear in those guys. Those guys, they are not. These people don't present themselves as professionals. They're like little children. And there are some guys there.
I will defend, because those are young reporters. They are young reporters. You understand? And they don't know the backstory. They don't know the history and the context of certain things. So just asking their questions. So I will not see it as little child and so on. I mean, those are young people.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
They agree.
I'm saying the manner in which the Prime Minister treats the journalists, the young ones. With gross disrespect. He does not even allow them to assert themselves. He just steamrollers those people and they just break their confidence.
But why must he allow them to assert themselves? It's not the responsibility of the Prime Minister. You must assert yourself, you know.
Sir.
You must assert your thing yourself. Yes, go ahead.
The final thing, sir. I listened also to Lisa and the ambassador to the French.
Yes.
And she asked a question concerning the canine dog. Whether a request had been made. She said, he asked, we're still waiting for a request. He said that because he followed the show from the beginning to the end.
Yes.
He said, we are still waiting. Yes. But I'm hearing you saying that you were able to confirm from another source that the government has approached the French government.
Yes.
I find it a little strange. Why are they not approaching from our local ambassador down here? I don't know.
Why what?
I'm trying to find out, but
No, what's the question?
I don't know if it is I'm not saying whether they have to go from the ambassador to the French, who is locally posted. But I'm saying, how is that he did not know that the government has approached his government?
Well, I can't answer
Why
that
would
for
he
you.
make a statement?
I don't know why the Prime Minister is not aware. I don't know. That's not what I'm dealing with at all. I get your point, but I don't know. What I can tell you that I know, and by now, if I was wrong, all things considered, somebody would have come to the fore. Somebody would have said, the host of NewsSpin lied. He did not get his fact correct when he said that the authorities have made a request to the French government. And they have made a request to the French government for another dog.
I thank you, sir, and I actually trust your source. But I just want to highlight the devious nature of this government. These people are very sick and devious. And I'm sorry to sound this way. I really do not want to sound this way, but I really appreciate the opportunity to give me to speak. Thank you,
sir. I enjoyed the exchange as well. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. Jamaica elections scheduled for September the 3rd. But in the run-up to that poll, several debates. The first one occurred on Saturday, and the second one will take place this evening, 9 o'clock Jamaica time. I think that will be 10 o'clock Eastern Caribbean time, and the focus is on the economy. So if you can, watch that debate, and the final debate will be between the two leaders. That's Prime Minister Dr. Holness and also the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Golding, and that is on Thursday, I think also 9 p.m. Jamaica time. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Is still to come. Some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and we have a NewsSpin poem.
We've just finished dinner, and before we all head off, let's do something very important. Let's go over our hurricane prep list. We need food, water, medicine, important documents. What else? Right, the generator. This year, I'm not taking any chances. I'm getting ours from Europa Hardware in Massad Grocery. Best prices around, and believe me, I don't want to hear, "Daddy, the Wi-Fi's down," when the power's out. Keep your family comfortable. Get your generator at Europa Hardware. Call us today at 452-0763. Europa Hardware, located in Massad Grocery. We service what we sell.
Lucelec wishes to advise customers and the public that its customer service office at the Carolec building in San Souci remains closed to facilitate urgent maintenance. The Lucelec Rodney Bay and therefore offices are open to serve customers, and the kiosk in the Blue Coral Mall is available for all services except payments. Customers who wish to make payments during this closure are encouraged to access the My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com. Sure Pays online and walk-in service options, or participating financial institutions. Payments made via SurePay and My Account Direct on weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. will be processed to customer accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account balances, please dial the automated account inquiry service line at 457-4433. Customers can access other Lucelec services by using the virtual service desk at lucelec.com. The management of Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by this closure and thanks its valued customers for their patience and understanding.
Tired of sky-high bills and a planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 455-7000 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are, 'cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong, no matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in, our hands up in the sky, celebrating. Come, let your rhythm flow.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Have you had a stroke or symptoms like numbness, headaches, or back pain? When your body sends a warning, don't wait. MRI is the gold standard for seeing what other imaging can miss, like brain damage, spine issues, and early cancer. At La Clinique de Corps, we are the only center in St. Lucia offering the most advanced MRI technology. Fast, radiation-free, expertly interpreted, and insurance accepted. Call 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. La Clinique de Corps, Center of Excellence, where quality meets expertise.
In the blink of an eye, disaster can strike. Are you ready? When the winds rage and the rain pours, will you be prepared? Don't let the next hurricane catch you off guard. At M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt, we understand the importance of preparation. From generators to plywood, we have everything you need to weather the storm. Don't wait until it's too late. Visit M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt today and make sure your family is safe and secure this hurricane season. Play it safe. Get prepared.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real Men, check up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA. It's simple, it can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives.
Go up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men.
Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
The Republic Bank CPL is here, and the biggest party in sport just got bigger. This August, all roads lead to Darren Sammy Cricket Ground as the St. Lucia Kings light up the island with 5 explosive home games from August 23rd to 31st. Every six, every wicket, every roar from the crowd is a shot of pure Caribbean adrenaline. So grab your tickets now at cplt20.com or at your local box office. It's time to turn up for the biggest party in sport.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Time now for our NewsSpin poem.
Prime Minister, do you have to dance and chuckle in Fair Helen while mothers and shoppers buckle in despair and yell for their children? We deck ourselves in red and parade and drink instead while our young men lay dead. We motorcade for crime and violence, he said, while our young people are being gunned by the wicked and our daughters running scared. Is this our party's legacy, while our fathers lay lifeless at OKEU mortuary, leaving our children sad and unhappy? Or is it protecting the victory, even in a blood-stained sad story? We sympathize, we empathize after we revel, while the streets tell the bloody story on a horrific level. Then you come and say you are sorry, not even in a hurry. The victory you say you wanted to celebrate with the youth, all night till late, is this the truth? What are we truly modeling as moral, honest and caring SLPs? Or is this a case of Kenny and Tony? My PJP, every time you say protecting the victory makes us uneasy, very uneasy, for it is just prolonging our misery at the groceries, miseries, not enough money to pay, even with the 70 VAT exemption today.
A NewsSpin poem. Let's continue with your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and then we'll have a final update from Amanda regarding some of the comments that you have made in the chat room. So we are awaiting that final call. In the meantime, somebody says there via WhatsApp, hi Tim, and look forward to the day when we have our own political leaders debate in St. Lucia. One between the Deputy Prime Minister and his choice from the following 4. Guy Joseph, Dominic Fede, Tommy Descartes, or Stephen Favrier. The second debate between the Prime Minister and opposition leader, moderated by whomever the Labour Party chooses. Looking forward to this. And let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Okay, let's take a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Sir Tim, I want you to know I've been calling since 1:15, okay?
Well, that's the case with maybe 20 other people.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Yes, we are in demand.
Tim, I want to say first of all that the notion that honorable, as used in the House, had anything to do with the character of the people addressed That is totally wrong. Honorable as used in the House has nothing whatsoever to do with the character of the members of Parliament. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It is a courtesy title. It's not even really useful outside the House. It's a thing that MPs address each other. And in St. Lucia, we don't even do that anymore. We have people calling people all kind of names in the House. That man said this, my man is this, and that's what we have. We don't even have the honorable member anymore, do we?
We hardly hear that.
Eh?
We hardly hear that.
Which, by the way, is contrary to the standing rules, the standing orders. That's one. I want to say also, Tim, because I like to get the facts right, so people don't say we are encouraging, and you and me, that's we usually are the targets, are encouraging uninformed or misinformation to go on. The Prime Minister has said many times, and he never attended the hearing that Mr. Shiko referred to a while ago. What he said was he joined the people after the case, after the hearing. He joined them outside, and he made a certain statement, which I think was the problem. But he has always denied being present at the hearing. I should also add that
before you continue, is that true or isn't that true?
What's that?
As far as you are aware, is the Prime Minister correct when he says that?
He's correct.
Huh?
The problem was what he said, Jim, not his presence at the hearing.
Okay, so let me address this. I did not attend the hearing, but what I saw, the video that I saw, I think that would have been December of a particular year.
You saw him outside the courthouse?
No, I saw him exiting the courthouse. Actually saw him exit.
No. Saw him. Are you saying you...
Listen.
Are you saying
saw
you saw him at the hearing?
No, not the hearing. Not hearing. I saw him exiting the courthouse. Does not mean...
I agree. I totally... The camera showed that.
It does not mean that maybe he was inside there in an office or
that
somewhere.
That is precisely the point.
But but I just want to stress that point, that he was seen...
You're right, Jim.
Exiting the courthouse. Yeah?
You're quite right on that, and we have video of that.
You're right.
But he insists he did not attend the hearing.
Right.
He was not there during the case.
Okay.
Okay, let's get that clear. He's insisted on that, and unless somebody can come up with video to show otherwise, I wasn't there. We have to take him at his word, but he did make certain statements outside the House, which got him into trouble anyway. I thought the statement outside the House was ill-advised as well. Okay. But in any case, the most you could do, even if he had attended and sat in the court, he has a right. But the most we can say is it was not kosher to do that. And you could even accuse him of trying to intimidate the magistrate, all of that.
Okay, so hold on there, because my very efficient producer is showing that overlay of the Prime Minister exiting the courthouse. All right, he's exiting the courthouse. So I'm in
total agreement with that.
He was in the building, and somebody, and another person is saying to me right now, police officer Tim, I was in the courthouse when he entered. All right, continue.
I was in the courthouse when he entered. Does that mean that he attended the hearing?
It does not mean that. No.
Okay, that's very, very clear.
Yes.
But let's say this, Tim. Even if he had taken a seat there, there's no law preventing him from doing that.
No.
He has an interest in the case, none.
No.
But it would not be kosher. It doesn't look good. It's not good. It's not good to see. What is the word I'm missing there? Optics.
Mm-hmm.
Not good optics.
But he also said, Rick, that I went there to see justice done.
Yeah.
So
and I thought
you could read you could read a lot of things into that.
Of course you can.
Yes.
That's why it would have been better had you said nothing. I agree. But here's the bigger point I want to make. Mr. Shiko is suggesting that was an infringement on the separation of powers rule. That's wrong. The most you could, even if he was at the court hearing, the most you could accuse him of was intimidating or trying to have an impact on the magistrate, trying to scare, that kind of stuff. But separation of powers, the Prime Minister was also correct. He was served a nice ball this week, and he ran with it. Took it all the way down, but he's correct. The person who should be answering and is answerable regarding the evidence and all of things is the DPP's office.
I disagree with you on that, Rick. Okay, because if you listen, yes. If you listened to the question posed by the reporter.
Oh, okay.
And we're going on the question.
What was the question?
The question was, Mr. Prime Minister, it was reported in the SeNUSHAPost.com, SeNUSHADailyPost.com, that the evidence was found in VA4. Can you confirm? This is not asking you to determine who was guilty, wasn't guilty, who should be charged.
All right, so give me a break.
A simple question. And hold on. Let me actually play that clip.
Yeah.
So the audience can judge for themselves. The question and just a little part of his response. But I'm more interested in
your chat room costume.
I'm not monitoring the chat room. But I'm more concerned about the question that was posed by the reporter.
Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister.
Good morning.
The St. Lucia Daily Post recently put out an article quoting a police source as saying that the evidence in the cases of Shaka and Daniel.
Have you checked the police source?
That's what I'm asking. Have you inquired to see if this is accurate?
I'm not spoken to the Commissioner of Police on that matter, but you must recall, I've made that point several times.
Okay, Rick, so I'm more interested in the question. Go ahead.
You see, that is what he's saying. He's saying that question. Did I hear him say, have you checked?
Yes. Have you checked with the police? Have you confirmed?
Well, exactly. Because you see, anything he says, I'm coming to a bigger point still, Tim, would be going against the rule of separation of powers. Now, the housing minister.
No, before you go into the housing minister, okay? Before you go into the housing minister, I'm just saying to you, Rick, that no one asked him to interfere to determine whether Hold on, Rick. Whether somebody should be charged or not. That would be direct interference. The question was very simple, Rick. Hold on. The question is very simple. Can you confirm, Mr. Prime Minister, whether that's true or not? Can you confirm? This is not interference.
And what he said in effect, Jim, is, I don't want to talk about that. The person to ask that question is the DPP's office.
No.
That is as safe as can be.
We're not talking about being safe. We're not talking about being safe. We talk about being honest. We're talking about you, the Prime Minister. You're talking about you. Rick, no, Rick, no. You are the National Security Minister.
You don't have to spell that out.
We are asking you to confirm whether it is true or not. A simple question.
Tim, I am telling you, let me go even further to you. Even if the Prime Minister knows, the safest place for him to be is to say, I don't want to comment on that. It is for the DPP's office to comment on that. That is how dangerous, and in particular, the particular circumstances we have. 2 murder cases involving police officers. A minister stands in the House and gives a whole speech suggesting how the evidence got disposed of.
Mm-hmm.
That in itself is major. That can have major impact also on the case. That is big. And I think the Prime Minister must have been advised by somebody to say nothing about that matter, about the missing.
Well, Rick, all the reason why. And maybe he'll be throwing the MP for Castries Central under the bus, right?
Well,
if you tell me that. But all the reason why, against the background of the statement that was made by the MP for Castries Central, that the Prime Minister should have answered the question or say to the reporter, I don't want to answer that question. I do not want to answer the question.
In different words, Tim. That is for the DPP to answer. But let me say something
That's not for any DPP to answer.
Well,
we're talking about that. No, Rick.
Let me give you another example,
we're disagreeing with that because that has nothing to do with any.
We are
hold
going
on.
to disagree.
It has nothing to do with whether anybody should be charged, convicted, etc. It has to do with whether The evidence was actually found in a box at a police station in V4. That's the
Tim,
simple
what the
question.
Prime Minister was
Nothing to
saying
do with the DPP, sir. Nothing.
What the Prime Minister was saying.
So you want to assume what the Prime Minister was saying?
But we have no choice. If I use his own words, it still amounts to the same thing, you know.
Make your assumption, sir.
If I use his own words, that the person you should ask that question is the DPP's
No,
office.
that has nothing to do with the DPP, Rick. That has absolutely nothing to do with the DPP.
All right, okay.
If he said, wait for when the police commissioner returns and pose that question to him, he would be on a better footing. Nothing to do with the DPP.
But let's move on. When that thing first came up in the House, you notice the Prime Minister said not a word about it either?
Yeah.
Well, you think he doesn't have a reason to? The Attorney General.
I'm not interested in his reasons.
Nothing as well?
I'm not interested in his, but we don't hear from.
But you have to beat him.
But we don't hear from.
General,
when, for example, Rick, the Prime Minister would say to a reporter, pose that question to the Attorney General. He did this recently. Ask the Attorney General that question. When can that reporter do that? When was the Attorney General convene a press conference?
Tim. That is the problem I'm trying to get across to you. The DPP's office does not exist. If it did exist...
I never said the DPP on this occasion. I said the Attorney General. When does he convene a press conference?
The government lawyer, so that's not for him to be talking about DPP work. Okay? The DPP's office has the responsibility for prosecution of cases where evidence is stored. He's supposed, and considering how long that evidence was supposedly missing, and not a word from any DPP, that is the point. That is not even for the Attorney General to talk about, let alone the Prime Minister, and for that Housing Minister to have expounded for so long and in such detail.
I don't know why you want to stress and focus on the Housing Minister, but not focus on not focus on the Prime Minister. Because
the Prime Minister
today,
is right,
today I have to say, poor job the DPP with regard to that particular issue.
All right.
Poor job the DPP.
Let us agree, you and I, to disagree, okay, on that point. But this is a matter that's before the courts. Evidence is being stored. Allegedly, evidence gone missing from 2018, 2019. The Prime Minister no Prime Minister has spoken about that at all, with good reason, because it must come from the DPP's up before Philip Pierre was Prime Minister. Allegedly.
But the DPP fence really low, eh? The DPP's fence is too low, very low. Because you keep talking about the DPP. I'm not on that occasion. On that occasion, I'm not interested in the DPP. Talking about confirming whether the evidence was found in a box in V4 or not. That's all. I am not wrong. Rick, I am not wrong.
Good. But let me talk about the DPP for 1 second. You seem, for whatever reason, you don't want to talk about DPP.
No, but why but that's irrelevant to what we're discussing. That's irrelevant to the question.
Tim, I am not that dumb to be talking about irrelevancies. Please, okay? I'm telling you that the Prime Minister is absolutely protocol correct, that he is executive and he should have no say in prosecution.
It's not about prosecution, Rick. You keep talking about prosecution. It is not about prosecution. It is about prosecution. No, it is not.
Evidence is missing.
It is not.
If evidence is missing, it is about prosecution.
No, it's about confirmation, not about prosecution.
He cannot.
Confirmation.
All right. Let me move on. It's like when the Speaker of the House said that he has seen the tape and there is nothing on the tape, but the police are waiting to see what the police finds. What he was telling you is he had examined the tape, which he had no right to do. What the man should have done was, if the police asked for the tape, get the department to hand it over to the police. He should not be involved in any way. And so now whatever is on that tape, the Speaker can be accused of tampering with it. He should have kept his mouth shut. And he went further to talk about case law. He's not a goddamn lawyer. And all of those things of things that guys are showing up, talking at the wrong time, etc. So we had a whole bunch of it. But the most egregious part that you don't want to talk about was what the housing minister said with reference to the missing evidence that showed up 2 days later. Nice to have a good argument with you. I'm sure the fans enjoyed that.
Yes. Thank you so much for calling, Rick. Thank you so much for calling. Time now for the NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, U.S. orders more ships to southern Caribbean with eye on drug cartels, according to sources. So sources say U.S. orders more ships to southern Caribbean with eye on drug cartels. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.